What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon, NBA DFS video. It is Sunday. It is February 25th, and we are back. We will have at least two winners. So it could be the same person. We're going to show you it and what I'm talking about. If you've never been here before, anytime a video gets at least 50 likes, you leave a comment, you are a YouTube subscriber, someone will win a free week. 100 likes is a free month, 125 likes is a free year, and if we ever get 150 or more likes on a video and you leave a comment, you are a subscriber, you have a chance to win a $500 lifetime pass. The second way to win, like the video, be a subscriber, and tell me who's going to score the most amount of DraftKings fantasy points and how many fantasy points will they score. If you get it closest without going over, you will win a free week. If you get it exactly on the dot, you will win a free year of content. We did both. We had someone win with Jalen Brunson, and we had over 50 likes, so someone will win a free week. Could be the same person winning 2 weeks. There was only 8 comments on the video yesterday, so everyone has a very good, very good chance. So we're going to have the giveaway first. Do the same thing on this video. If it gets 50 likes or more, we will continue it. You got to leave a comment to be in part of the giveaway. So that being said, we look at the winner. So we had user operating capacity with Jalen Brunson at 48 fantasy points. We did also have the King Raheem, who's won multiple times, with 62 as his guess, but Jalen Brunson went off for 53.25. So 48 takes the cake here. So operating capacity, if you're seeing this video, like it, let me know you saw it, and then email me dfshelp1@gmail.com. That's dfshelp, the number 1 at gmail.com. With a username and email you would like on the website, and we will get you set up. So now we're going to see who's going to be the winner from the comments yesterday. So we use this, we randomize it, and we'll do it one time, we'll start it, and that will be the winner. So it could be the same person. Operating capacity could, in fact, win 2 weeks free. All he did was left a comment there. So let's check it out. Drum roll, please. The winner of the free week is operating capacity. Simple as that. With the Brunson 48, won it twice. That is how easy it is. So operating capacity, once you see this, let me know. We will set you up for 2 weeks of DFS content. That's, if you go to the website, FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, that's 2 weeks of NASCAR, 2 weeks of NBA, 2 weeks of PGA, and soon it would be 2 weeks of MLB on top of that. So congratulations. The more people that comment, he had a 1 in 8 chance to win twice. So congratulations. We will get you set up once you email me, dfshelp1@gmail.com. So that being said, if you've never been here before, welcome. What we do is we do things a little bit differently here. So we are going to go over the Vegas odds. We're going to look into the depth charts, and then we're going to build a lineup on DraftKings. So if you got questions, let us know. We'll try to put those down below. If you haven't already checked it out, we have our NASCAR content there as well. So depending on when you watch this video, maybe you will have time to build your lineup. So anytime we don't have a video out for that day, let's say by noon your time, most likely we won't have a video, but we will have the article on the website. So definitely check it out. So just kind of looking at, there's 10 total games, I believe, but only 7 are on the main slate, and that's what we're going to cover is the main slate. So we look at the main slate here, and we've got Jazz and Spurs at the highest over-under of 241. We've got Clippers-Kings, with the Jazz being a 7-point favorite. We got Clippers versus Kings, Clippers being a 6.5-point favorite with a 239 over-under. We've got Rockets versus Thunder, Thunder being a 6-point favorite, 234.5 over-under. Warriors-Nuggets, Nuggets being a 1-point favorite with a 233. So I absolutely love Jokic today. Give me some Jokic all over the board here at 233. Hawks versus Magic. Magic 1.5-point spread, 225.5. Pelicans Bulls. Pelicans being a 2.5-point favorite at 222.5. And then Blazers Hornets. The Blazers being only a 3-point favorite, and the Hornets are a bad team at 219.5. So I have had multiple people ask, or I had someone at least yesterday ask, what would be the cutoff of like an over-under of games you want to target? So I basically said 220, but you could have those one-offs that you have this player A or player B that you could look at who could be in store for a game. So you kind of look at this. It's a low over-under, and it's a closer game with Trailblazers. So most of these games are kind of close. They're less than double digits, which is great. That's exactly what we need, especially on a slate like this. There might be a couple one-offs with like Miles Bridges here. We'll look at it and kind of make sure. So these are the over-unders. Depending on when you watch this video, they could have changed a little bit. So that being said, we kind of want to do a little preview, and we've done this. So we're going to go through each game here, and you can see like Trae Young's out, Ball's out, McCollum, Brogdon, like these guys are already out. So we're going to go and we're going to take a look at these games that we feel confident about. So Orlando versus Atlanta, I'm just kind of looking at the players here that makes sense. With Trae Young being out, we've got some here. Trae Young's out, Okongwu's out. They have a losing streak going on. Magic have a 3-game winning streak here. There are players going to step up, and I feel like the guys you really want here are Paolo and Dejounte Murray. I think these are the two. I think it's Banchero. If you know how to pronounce it, let me know. Again, some of these games are on a back-to-back. They played yesterday. He played yesterday, 29.75. He's had a couple of stinkers. People might see that and be like, "Oh, let's stay off him." But with the matchup here, I really like him. Dejounte Murray again, 7,800. If you want to pay down a little bit, he's been putting up some points for his price. So if you don't want to pay up for Paolo, I completely understand. But I think Dejounte Murray needs to be in multiple lineups. Same thing with Franz Wagner. Wendell Carter Jr., we used him yesterday, 30.5 fantasy points for 5,100. Again, about 6 times value. What you're looking for, if you play cash, you're looking for 7.5 times value. For tournaments, you're looking for 8.5, 9 times value. You're not going to get that for every player, but that's the target. But you will have those players that are like 3,500 and they get 35 fantasy points, so they go 10 times value and they help you build your lineup that way. So Wendell Carter, kind of a stinker before, but then had a good game last night. Again, you got to look at the back-to-back. So first game of back-to-back, 30 fantasy points there. The next game was 20. That's kind of just another thought process. 16 here, but did a little bit better here, but he was expensive at 6,300. Then 21, 22, 33.5, and then or 33.25 and 26.75. So when you're building your lineup and you're making your player pool or however you build it out, you want to look at those players that have a great matchup. The over-under is fantastic. You want to see their trends, what they've done. And we have trends on the website. So if you go here, NBA player trends, it'll show how many games they've scored X amount of fantasy points with an over-under of, let's say, 230. Or with a spread of -5 or whatever the spread is. So that is another tool. We have a ton of tools on the website. A lot of free tools, and there are FTA Plus. So if you go to FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, FTA Plus, we have the monthly pass for $24.99, or you can get the yearly pass. There's a couple coupon codes left. MLB VIP, it's normally $199. You can get it for $75. So if you've been on the fence about it, definitely go check it out. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. Hopefully, we can help you out as well. And baseball's right around the corner. So that being said, those are the plays that I look at. I'd go down to Jalen Suggs, DeAndre Hunter, Cole Anthony. Those are probably the ones that I'd look at. Chicago, New Orleans, there's not a ton that I like here. Zion's questionable, Ingram's questionable. Let's see if they're out or questionable. Yeah, Zion's been questionable with the tag, and he's put up, right around 5.5 times value. Kobe White I like, Vucevic I like. Brandon Ingram, yeah, I mean, he's sick, whether or not, I don't know what he has, but he could play today, but if he's out, that obviously would bump up Zion a little bit more. DeRozan I do like. Valanciunas, Drummond, Trey Murphy, Herbert Jones, Dosunmu, I like these guys. Not a ton in this game that I like, but those would be where I'm at. Got Denver versus Golden State. Jamal Murray, questionable. Played the 22nd, so he played 3 days ago. He's got shin splints. Whether or not he's going to be a go, I don't know. Obviously, we got Denver here being a 1-17 implied team total, with Golden State being 115.5. So the Warriors are looking to extend their winning streak. Steph has been on fire. He's been, he's had some downtime, coming off a bad game against Charlotte, which again, was a really good matchup for him. But against the Lakers, he put up 53.75. We know that he can put up 60, so we know that's what we're getting. I'm surprised he's under 10, actually, and they've dropped him down a little bit. I would not be surprised if Jokic gets a triple-double. If you are into sports betting, I would look at it triple-double as a bet. I don't know what the odds are. They're probably not the best, but I would definitely look at Jokic for a triple-double here. I absolutely love him. I'm trying to see if he's played Golden State this year, game log-wise. If we look to game log, played him on the 4th, 66.75, so about 6 times value. Wish it would be a little bit better than that, but that's what we've got. We look at Golden State here on Christmas, 55.5. So he hasn't had the best game, but I feel like I absolutely love him today. I'm going to be all over him. Both of these teams, Denver is not the best on the road, and Golden State is really good at home. So if you put that, it'd be Jokic, and maybe that's the only Denver player I'd go. And we go with Golden State. We go with Steph. We go with Draymond. We go with Clay. We go with Kuminga. It just depends. Podziemski. It really depends on the starting lineup that goes out there. Yeah, so injuries for this game. Jamal Murray is questionable. He might play. That's definitely something to look at. If he is out, I love Jokic even more. Chris Paul, obviously, is still out for this team. So we go to OKC versus Houston. We look at this. Thunder, 120.3 implied team total. Houston, 114.8 implied team total. OKC is the favorite by a considerable amount. So we look at this. SGA, he's on a 4-game winning streak. I absolutely love him. The Rockets at home are 20-9. So they're really good at home. That's definitely something to look at. But Segan here, I'm looking at Segan. If you look at his stats, 21.1 points per game and 9.1 rebounds per game. So would not be surprised if Segan goes for 10-plus rebounds in this one. I love his scoring here. If you don't want to pay it for SGA, Segan, you're going to save $2,000. I don't mind it. Obviously, different positions, but if you're playing that, that's kind of what we're looking at. Houston. Honestly, I think you pay up for SGA. If you don't want to pay up for Jokic today because they're not the best on the road and he hasn't had the best games there, I think the next logical option would be SGA here at 10,600. I would not be surprised if he goes for at least a double-double himself. I absolutely love him today. I would look at him. I would basically go down to Josh Giddey, Dylan Brooks for tournaments, Lou Dort for tournaments as well. You go Aaron Wiggins, but the minutes just they're not bad. They're 15. He's getting at least 1 point per minute his past couple of games, and he's dropped down in price. So Aaron Wiggins, it'll just depend if he can get 15-plus minutes out of here. If he can, we're okay, but again, at 16 fantasy points, that's not the best, but we're still looking at 5 times value there, so that's not too bad if you're looking for some salary savings when you're paying up for SJ or when you're paying up for Jokic today. So we go San Antonio versus Utah. Wembanyama has been absolutely on fire, and he's still under 10K. So we look at him. He's coming off back-to-back 60-plus games, and then a 50 here and a 78 here. So I don't know why he's not priced up more. I think he is one that you want to play. He's absolutely dominating. He's the first player. He's got a ton of games that his stats, the stat that I saw, let me see real quick. What was the stat that I saw on him? He's the first player in history of the NBA to have 75-plus three-pointers made, 150-plus assists, and 150-plus blocks. And we still have time in this season. So he's absolutely been on fire. I have no legitimate reason why he's not been 10K. I don't think he's been 10K once. Maybe to start the season. No, he's never been 10K, which is wild to me. I think he's one that I feel like I would take Wembanyama over Segan here in this on this game here. Jazz has a good home record, 17-11. Lauri Markkanen for the Jazz. I think that if I'm taking looking at these, it's Wembanyama and Markkanen, or Markkanen, however you say his name. Those would be the two that I look at. Obviously, we can come down to Jeremy Sokin, and we can come down to Keontae George, who I still don't know why he's not priced up more. They have brought him up a little bit, but 54 fantasy. We took him on the 15th, and he was only 4,700. 54 fantasy points. Exactly what we needed. That's exactly what we were looking for out of him. So still a cheaper option, right above 5,000 if you don't want to pay. If I'm looking at Mark Cannon, I'm looking at Wembanyama, Keontae George are the top three that jump out to me the quickest there. Then we've got Charlotte versus Portland. Again, I don't know the best options here. We see that Charlotte's 108 favorite, or 108 team implied team total. Portland's 111. With a 219 over-under. I believe it's moved to a 219.5 now. So we look at this. Hornets, they're bad. We know that they're bad. We did see the Hornets start to kind of get into a little fight towards the end of the game. Their last game out against Golden State. We kind of look at that. The one, Trey Mann, I really like. Grant Williams, I like. Anthony Simons, I don't mind. Not a ton of options that I like in this game because it is a lower over-under. Maybe a little bit of Nick Richards. That's probably it. I don't know how much exposure I'll actually have to this game. We'll see if the fantasy points allowed by position jumps out to us for players at the end of this. And then we got Sacramento versus the Clippers. Everyone's healthy for the Clippers right now. Kawhi, George, Harden. Harden's been on fire. He's still only 8,600, which is wild to me. They've dropped him down. He put up a 50-burger against Golden State. He's going up against the Clippers, or he's going up against Sacramento, trying to see if he's played them this year at all, just to see whether or not it was before he got traded. He did. He put up 36 fantasy points there in December, and then he put up 50 against them in November. So he's dominated them. He's been on fire, and he's less than 9,000. Definitely would look at him. Sabonis is another one that I'd look at. If you're paying at 10,000, I'm looking at Sabonis there as well. So those are the breakdowns of the teams. Now let's take a look at one of our tools. So if you go to FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, you have all of these tools under here. But we're going to go with the fantasy points allowed by position with DraftKings. You can do the same thing with FanDuel as well. The pricing is just a little bit softer there. So we look at this. San Antonio is giving up the most amount of fantasy points to the point guard position, which is at 56.9 fantasy points. So if we go there, that means we would want to look at Utah. We would want to look at point guard. Keontae George at 5,300 is exactly the type of player that we want. He's in a fantastic matchup. He's underpriced for him. We would ideally like to get 6 times value, but again, he's a player at that price where he could get 5.5 times value, 6 times value, and you can pay up at other positions. So I absolutely love Keontae George today. We move to the shooting guard position. We see that Atlanta gives up the most at 47 fantasy points against the shooting guard. So we come back here. We look at Orlando shooting guard Jalen Suggs at 5,000. We used him, I believe, last night. Yeah, 31.5 fantasy points. He's only gone up 2, and now he's got a great matchup again. So we put those 2 in there. They are cheaper options there. So we go to, let's go to Washington. Not playing today. Utah gives up 50.2 fantasy points per game to the small forward. So we go to small forward here. We go to Utah, which is San Antonio. It's Jeremy at 5,400, which I'm okay with. Keldon Johnson, the minutes are kind of there. Has a couple of bad games. He's still averaging 30.3 fantasy points per game as a cheaper option here. Sokin here, the minutes are there, and I would probably go with Jeremy here. So you put him in there, and you're still getting 68.6. So then we move to the power forward position. Atlanta's given up 53 fantasy points on average to opposing power forwards. So that means we want to come back here with Orlando. So like I said, Paolo. If you don't want to pay up, that's okay, but he is in a fantastic spot. Jonathan Isaac is a cheaper option, 3,900. If you don't want to pay up for Paolo here, I understand. Jonathan Isaac's getting about 20 minutes a game, 26 fantasy points, under 4K. So you put him in there, and you're still able to average. Or you take Jonathan Isaac out, you put Paolo in there, you can still average 64. So I'm going to go with Paolo there right now. Again, this is one of many lineups. This is one way to build a lineup. This is not the end-all, be-all. So if that's what you've been thinking, there's just so many different ways to build lineups here. And then we go with center position. We've got Washington, Atlanta. So you've got Atlanta, that's Orlando, whether or not you Wendell Carter at 5,100. You can see he's been doing pretty well. 5,100, you're still averaging quite well if that's a base lineup that you're doing. Then you have a utility, a guard, and a forward. So I already told you that I want Wembanyama in there. So he's going to be in there no matter what. So Wembanyama is in there for forward or utility, depending on what you want to do. Then you kind of just go here. You go with guard. Okay? You want Steph. You can now average 5,600. So if we just go here, we just look at 5,600 or, whatever. Jordan Clarkson against San Antonio. A couple of good games. Not the best, but he's in a fantastic matchup here. So Jordan Clarkson, I'll throw him in there. And then utility at 5,400. Again, not the only way to do it, but Trey Jones, we've looked at him. His minutes have been there. The production's been up and down. See if he's played Utah this year. If he's played Utah this year, we'll see what he's done. Played them there at 25.5 at 4,800. We see Utah here. Nothing there. So it really just depends where you want to go with this. Keldon Johnson could be in store. We kind of look at Keldon Johnson here. Game log wise, the minutes are there. The production's been up and down. It just depends. Desumu here. Minutes have been there. Fantasy points. So now this is a tournament lineup. This isn't the only lineup I'm going to be making. So if you're one that only makes one lineup, I probably wouldn't go with this type of build. There's just so many other options and so many other builds, different type of builds you can go off of. This is just one of many. And this is just one. If you want to see what else we have on the cheat sheet, we have each position out. We have cash plays and tournament plays and leverage plays. So normally we have about 5 or 6 players at each position for cash and 5 or 6 at tournament. Then we have Fanduel and DraftKings lineups, cash and tournaments. They are there. They are not an end-all, be-all. So if you're only buying FTA Plus for the lineups, you're doing it wrong. You need to use all of the tools we have. So if you have not already checked it out, check out our playlist for MLB. See how we broke it down every single day. We're going to do that this year as well. We're very excited. We got baseball to watch today. Ton of runs were put up yesterday. Saw the Yankees put up, I think, 22. The Dodgers put up double digits first day. They're just, again, I get it. It's spring training, but we're excited for baseball. It's our favorite sports, the one I know the most. It's one I break down the best. I know pretty much 99% of the players. So I'm very excited for that. So yeah, that's what we've got for NBA today. We will be back tomorrow. We have NASCAR today as well. And we're just going to rock and roll through this year. And we're going to hopefully be able to put out a ton of great content for you. We'll continue NBA through the playoffs. We will continue NASCAR. We will ramp up for baseball. I think I'm gonna start doing we're getting into the it'll be March in 6 days, and then we will have baseball starting soon for actual season, and then we will just ramp through the whole summer. Very excited for baseball. Want to have giveaways every single day, so hit the like button and leave some comments. So that's what I've got in this video. If you have questions, get those down below. Don't forget, leave a comment so you have a chance for the comment picker to pick you up. If we hit 50 or more likes, you'll be in. And tell us who you think is going to score the most amount of DraftKings fantasy points today, and we will see who the winner is tomorrow. So good luck on this Sunday. If you're not playing DFS, but you're just watching us to support us, thank you as well. Good luck, and as always, let's bring home some bacon. Peace!